Yeah, I can say shortly some updates from my part.
Okay.
The first one is that actually we were able to turn on the claims of gift, and we currently have more than 3,000 claims during last week. A huge inflow of users, probably like around 20,000 unique people came to site, and 3,000 addresses were in regional gift. So it's a huge advancement for a project. Second is that actually I'm very happy that the knowledge graph became very active, and we have like several thousand links per day currently, which is amazing and enormous. I want to thank everyone. The Cyber Profit, I hope you will display ranking of offers later. And the third thing I was personally, I spent last time on two things. The first one is I was concerned, like created a market making strategy for Cyber Congress. We created pairs to the leading blockchains and set up liquidity against leading blockchains. I think that is really important for the development of project on osmosis. Yes. And the second thing I was involved is I'm working continue to work on the developing Cybernet, which is rewarding layer for Cybergraph. And eventually, I think I have understanding on how the application must work based on the contracts which was proposed by Cyberhead. So yeah, I committed to the repo my understanding on funnels, and we will start to design the app shortly.
Thank you, Master. Yes, I would love to share the information about the graph. I think we can do it right now and quickly. And also, I want to ask another team members to think who wants to talk about their updates. They will be able to talk about their updates shortly, as I mentioned at the very beginning, that we need to quickly come to have time to answer the questions from the community. So the next team members, please make it quick. Okay, now I'm showing the stats about the Cybergraph. Now we have 400,000 of cyberlinks, and graph the fair filter with column timestamp. Let's say we want to filter this from the 30th of November. 30th of November of 23. Wow. This is the amount of, this is the number of cyberlinks that were created in the previous 2 weeks. Guys, congratulations. It's a huge leap for us. And we can check
It's enormous. So almost the same that we did in previous 2 years, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. Huge growth. And we can see the leaders of the addresses who created those cyberlinks, and we can see here that Joy and Cyber Academy are at the very top. MC Merit is creating cyberlinks one by one, but he doesn't do this by his hands. He has some automation, though he creates links only one by one. Cicada is Cicada is on the third place, and so on. And here also we can see that this is the number of the cyberlinks that were created by the contracts. I'm not sure if I have the latest data here. Probably the number of the cyberlinks that were created by the contracts should be higher, much higher, because of the claims of the gift. But I have not downloaded this data yet. Yep, and we can check how it looks like, because because it's cool to see Cosmograph, to see our graph visually. Cosmograph. Yep. I open Chrome. I put it on the screen. I use cyb.ai, and I here enter Cosmograph run application. Here it is, Cosmograph. 183K of cyberlinks, and this is how those cyberlinks look like. Well, even the Cosmograph now is slow with our graph. Oh, here it is. So Joy created those cyberlinks with time. There's some cluster about university, another calendar here, Gregorian calendar, and what else? And this cluster of some terms of some words. Well, looks nice, and lots of the different not connected particles here. Not very densely connected particles here. So this is the stats. If you have any questions, if anybody has any questions on what stats from the graph we can show today, please ask.
Karma rank, Max.
Karma rank. Let's do it quickly. To update Karma, we need I need to parse the graph, and I can do it for the first 5. Karma rank, dict neurons view, Karma. Sort. Let's check when the last time I updated this. Get 0 default. Last time I updated this in November. Well, I can show Karma stats, but at the end of the meeting, it will take some time for me to update this. If another request, please send me the message in the Telegram. Okay, guys, who's next to demonstrate their progress on Bostrom, so we can switch and we can come to the questions.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, hi everybody. I can say a couple words about front end. So we are preparing one huge major update, which calls Sense. This is the thing that should connect neurons and users of cyb.ai by bringing notifications into the app, finally, yeah, and a notification about updates about particles you cyberlinked, and about neurons, your friends who posted any tweets or sent any messages to you via send in teleport. So with this, I can show just a little teaser. Can you see this?
Yes, we can.
Yeah. So this is the prototype of Sense. Here we can see application. So it's a Telegram-like interface where we can see updates from neurons, which is round and has this prefix. Yeah, so we can see the, for example, this one is Master Cyb sent some tokens via teleport, and we can see a message from him. And if we click by this on this message, it will send us to, it will lead us to teleport, and we can see the whole conversation with Master Cyb. This is a particle, example of particle, which is a picture, and we can see that someone linked outcoming particle to this particle. Yeah, and we can see the CID, cannot see the result yet. What else? This another neuron sent something, posted something in Twitter, so we can see his last post in Twitter, and so on.
And
lately,
this is all connected to your personal graph. Somehow, the particle that you created was cyberlinked by someone, right?
The particle you created will be cyberlinked by someone. Someone will cyberlink something to your particle, like incoming cyberlink or outcoming, and you will see the last update about it. So if you click on this particle, it will lead you to the search result by this particle, and you can see all the updates. So this is like notifications.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So this is the screen about conversation with neuron. So it's the same conversation as in teleport, which already working. This is just another screen in Sense. And later, with next iteration, we will bring all notifications all in one, like a chat of all notification by your account. So quickly, I think I can finish here. If community has any questions, welcome.
We will ask them later, I think.
Okay. Okay.
Now I think it's very important to note to mention the state of the development. We now have pretty many bugs because of the many users who came to claim the gift and to do other stuff. And Czeslaw, can you please comment on what is happening from the side of fixing the bugs? And
it was a lot of updates during this week. A lot of new users came. Big activity in Discord. We improved much portal functionality, gift, some HFR where you can mint tokens to receive energy. So it's not much to show, but a lot of good improvements that you can feel on your application.
Nice. Thank you.
I would
again,
I would add to this that it was last week was around 15 pull requests merged to the cyb.ai repository. Most of them was bug fixing, but also we switched to default Kelium node by default. Updates were like majority of updates was regarding fixes which we got from the Fusion flow of new users.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else with very short description of the updates from the previous 2 weeks?
Yeah, I can give some regarding the backend, the ops side of the project. There's still a lot of concerns regarding the availability of the relaying and the APIs, that something is not working in the app. So yeah, that is all come due to a unknown yet bug, which causing our nodes to uphash sometimes. So yeah, we're currently trying to scale the backend nodes, which serves the app with the access to Bostrom API to make it as smooth as possible. Also working with the Cyberhead on debugging and finding what is the cause of the issue with this app hash. So yeah, kind of trying to improve this side constantly and working on it. So hope we will feel much better few next days. That's it for me.
We're looking for that. Okay. Thank you so much. So now I think it's time to ask our community about the questions. If anybody wants to talk, I will unmute everybody in this call. Just push the button and speak to us. We would love to hear from you. CC Lemon, can you start, please?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Hey, I appreciate everything you guys have done. I've been silently cyb.ai making cyberlinks and following for about 2 years. So you guys have come a really long way, and that's really all I got. I think I killed some bots in the Discord, but it's nice to finally come in here and listen. I think a lot of people are excited. That's all I got.
Sure. Will, I'm very happy to hear from you. I mentioned you just because yesterday you told me about those token mechanics that you have in mind about the oxygen, and I think that you might want to share your thoughts here about that. If it is still relevant, please do. If not, so that's okay. We can go on.
Yeah. So what I was thinking was one thing I really liked on Luna, when it was around, was something called Stater protocol, and they staked native Luna with the liquid staking token of Luna, and then that minted a Stater coin. They got various methods. In the future, you could probably take hydrogen and liquid pussy and mint something, or any combination of those things to really mint whatever you wanted. But I just wanted to mention that since there's liquid staking tokens floating out there. I like, me personally, I as a user, if I see hydrogen drop, to 6 hydrogen for 1 boot, I'm buying all day, right? So I like that. I like that because I know it's going to go up. I know the community tries to maintain about a 1-to-2 ratio. I can see that hydrogen's being pooled with a lot more things. So I see it as a retail buyer opportunity. But I just wanted to mention that Stater protocol does unique things with the native and liquid staking tokens that others are not. I know they moved on from Luna and they went on to other blockchains, but maybe one day you could take a look at that. I think it might be cool maybe a year from now to maybe do something cool like that. But that's all I got.
Okay.
I could comment some on that, because actually to be honest, we are not currently really focused on DeFi applications, because you have so many competitiveness there, and we embed in the protocol in our COSVASM setup ability for contract deployers to have 80% from the gas. So like we actually living DeFi for the community, because like our meet, like we are here actually creating a new market, which is the mix of Web3, AI, and blockchain. Yeah, and we are really focused in the unique use cases which could be provided by this. And so the short answers for you regarding the DeFi applications, we we as a Cyber Congress team are not going to focus on that in the coming year or two, unless some independent teams will join the project and start to deploy some smart contracts.
Thank you, Master. Well, I just sharing the screen here as a screensaver, so it doesn't serve any purpose, but just to be a background for our talk. Okay, thanks again. Thanks again, the Oracle, CC Lemon. You are a very active community member, and we are, as a team, appreciate a lot your activity, that you answer the questions to the people, to the community. This is insanely valuable for us. Don Krypton. Kryptonium. Would you like to talk?
Oh, no, sorry. I missed press the microphone. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. No problem. Okay, guys, who else want to talk? To have questions, announcements, additions? I'm still working on Karma, but if nobody will ask questions, I can show a bit updates on Sci, on what I have here, what I developed. I have some updates.
Hello.
Yep.
Good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, so I have just a brief question to ask.
Please.
Okay, because I got the news this morning, the information about the boots.
Okay.
Yeah, so I tried to sign up, and I linked 2 of my Ethereum wallets from 2020, but I didn't get any allocation.
Well, it happens. The cyber gift was crafted in very sophisticated way. The team, and it is absolutely different from the majority of other airdrops of other projects. Usually, projects create their airdrops based on the activity in the Cosmos blockchain and on the other blockchains that are related. We also have this part, but our snapshot that was made for making decisions on how much tokens the receivers will claim, will be able to claim. This snapshot was before 2021 November, and also there were very, very strict rules how it works. So you can check, you can learn about the mechanics of airdrops, of our airdrop, if you want to, from the, let's say, GitHub Cyber Profit. We have it in the Bostrom journal. There's a Bostrom journal, and there's in the Bostrom journal there's a special part which is about the gift, cyber gift. Yep, here it is. Also, there are links on how you can research the information, how this gift was made. And well, if you have not received any tokens, well, it happens. It means that not now. That is all that I can say. Thank you.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, we do.
Bro, first, I appreciate you for doing some good project like Cyber AI. I appreciate you so much, and I want to ask you how can you represent the Cyber AI to the other? Are you gonna use KOL influencer or what? Thanks.
Well, can you please repeat what you just said? I was a bit distracted.
Okay, the point of my question is, how can you represent the cyber AI to the other citizen? Are you gonna using KOL influencer or doing some activities like airdrop or another activity like maybe airdrop? See.
Well, we already have airdrop with our Bostrom tokens, and we are not going to make no new airdrops. At least now we do not have such a plans. We decided we were sharing initially 70% of all the tokens from Bostrom to the community, and those tokens are waiting to be claimed. What about the promotion? Our plan is hardcore. We are trying to build applications and we are trying to attract developers who can just check our examples of what exciting things can be built on top of the Bostrom blockchain. And by doing so, we expect that the popularization will come with that. And we do some other activities for sure. For sure, we would love to talk to influencers and do all the other stuff that is related to promotion, though our main focus is on the development yet, as we are, as a team, are mostly developers, hardcore developers. Yeah. And thank you so much for the question. I hope.
Yeah, and the short answer is that build and they will come.
Yeah. Master is our father. Okay, guys, new questions, please.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. Can you please tell a little bit more about Cybernet, in particular CCW's Tensor contract model that you plan to implement recently, and how it will work? It's like, as I understand, it's like some sort of layer of BitTensor, and it will connect to like reward system. Is it correct?
Master.
Kind of,
Yep.
kind of correct, Alex. Actually, what BitTensor is the like quite simple but computationally expensive smart contract which works currently in BitTensor network and doesn't do consensus. So it's just some business logic which allow to reward participants for mutual learning. And what we did already did, yeah, is that CH took substrate palettes and migrated it to COSM WASM. So basically, we have all business logic currently implemented using our stack. So we prepare a smart contract system which will allow to do very similar way, very similar thing with what we have in BitTensor, rewards for mutual learning. Yes, and we ported BitTensor CLI tools for interacting with this network. So what is left is we already did some basic design of the application, like user-faced application. So this mutual learning could be done not only by automated scripts, but by manual settings of weights. And the next steps are we like currently must change, like we must deploy this in some environment which will be convenient for us ourselves, and it will be a space pussy network. We will use it for testing these smart contracts in production. And we currently need to have some updates in Space Pussy and Space Pussy parameters. In particular, we need to bigger code size, bigger gas window for execution of autonomous models. And once we will deploy it, we will start to test it. We will invite to community to the game of tensors. Game of tensors will be rewarded in boot. And during this game of tensors, we will develop a web application for managing this stuff. Actually, a lot of details on why actually we decide to use this mechanism and what is the difference between BitTensor approach and our approach is in the Cybernet repository right in the README. In short, we decoupled consensus and reward business logic, which is more secure. In short, we will provide abilities to deploy your own network and token for learning, not only Tao, yeah, and a lot of good sweet stuff, for example, like web app. So in the end, idea is that you can actually do the same style mutual learning and rewarding, but for Cybergraph. So one thing which is left is that actually we have to find a way to do evaluations, yes, based on the Cybergraph, not on some GPT, not on the mountain dataset like in BitTensor case, but on the Cybergraph, and the loop will be closed. So actually, we will have a token which will reward the creation of the knowledge. Yeah. Did I answer your question, Alex?
Yeah, it's exciting. It's very interesting. Looking forward to test it as soon as possible. So there will be a new token for that, or it will be rewarded by boot.
No, it will not be rewarded by boot because we want to decouple consensus system and reward system.
Oh yeah.
So it will be a new token. It will be Oxygen. Thank you, CC Lemon, for suggesting this name. We used it in a good way. So it will be a Oxygen token, but the most cool thing is that actually anyone will be able to deploy their own learning network with a new token. So it will be a network. So actually it will be a network of different tokens for different use cases. And we hope, for example, that Cyber Academia will use this approach to learn and incentivize content creation in Cyber Academia. For sure, we will switch our Cyber Congress grant system to this approach. So it will be second network with some like CC token, Cyber Congress token, and who know what else. So yeah.
It's really interesting. So and there are other communities that might be like interested to pin their content into like IPFS via cyber network. It's cool. Looking forward, and other validators, I'm sure, will be really interested to participate in this activity further.
Thank you, Alex, for the questions. Master? Want to say something? No? Okay. Guys, who's next?
Interruptions with connections. So if I missed some question,
Nope.
Did I miss some question?
Nope, you didn't. I just said thank you for the answer. Okay, the next one.
I actually got a short notice that we recently add another portion of incentives to the Osmosis pools to boot to Atom pool, boot to Osmosis and H2 Osmosis pools. So we'll post with the pool IDs when it will show up on the front. But yeah, another wave of incentives is coming, so don't miss it.
Yes, that is cool, and that is definitely worth to show. Master?
Well, I guess there is. It couldn't be even on the front at the moment because Osmosis, as we discovered, got a really laggy front. So when you do a transaction on the chain, it will appear on the front like half an hour later only. So you just needed time to break through.
Kirill, can you please repeat which pools we have incentives set? Yep. No, so maybe I'm sharing the screen. I can highlight them.
So it should be Atom to boot pool.
Atom to boot, yes.
Boot to Osmo.
Boot to Osmo, the first one, yep.
And it was Hydrogen to Osmo as well.
Hydrogen to Osmo, where is it? Hydrogen, I see only hydrogen to boot. Okay, hydrogen to Osmo doesn't show it here. But hydrogen to boot also has incentives, right? Or not?
Yeah, it still have at the moment. It's just not showing here with the IPR because you need to add a position actually to get it because the pool is supercharged. We don't do the anymore. It's supercharged pool because it didn't just work well for our purpose. But actually, yeah, the hydrogen is incentivized to Osmo. So it's pool 1330.
Okay, got it. Thank you. Good news. Anybody else?
Hey, so
Hi.
the project, by the way, I mean, you only launched publicly a couple of days ago, right? Although the snapshot was taken a few years ago.
No, we launched a few years ago. The 5th of November of 2021, the blockchain was launched, and we are developing still since that time. We are constantly
So
developing
you've
something.
been quite under the radar since then, huh?
Pardon?
You've been under
Yeah,
the
kind
radar.
of yeah, we just it just needed a time to break through to be like more to get a portion of hype probably or attention.
And the token has been live since then.
Yep, that's true.
Interesting. Well, I just I'm waiting for the batch of 1,000 addresses to be over so that I can claim them. Is that right? That there's like 150 addresses left before the batch unlocks, if I understood correctly?
That's true, right?
Like for me to claim, I need to wait.
No. You actually you can unlock 1% every 1,000 claims. So it's a gradual process of releasing once the necessary critical mass is acquired. Currently, we are at 13,000 addresses claims, which is 13% from the first target, 100,000 addresses, which are required to have a release, 100% release of tokens. After that, will be also some continuation of the drop. So we are not doing, you must understand that we are not doing an airdrop in the way our teams are doing. It's not an action or event. It's a continuous process. We choose 4 million addresses and program the drop in a way that only 200,000 addresses could claim. So, and put there 70% of initial genesis. So basically the drop will finish once all tokens will be claimed. And this is based on our estimation is around 300,000 users. But after 100,000 addresses, all 100% of your claim will be available immediately.
Very interesting. So yeah, it's like a programmatic unlock of the tokens, which as more the network grows, it unlocks, which is quite smart.
Yeah, we think about this as a collective game, which the community must solve in order to achieve this super intelligent level of abilities.
And how many addresses did you say you got in total for now?
13,000, 13K.
Over the course of the last 2 years, right?
Yeah, and during last week it was 3,000 addresses. So we gained 9,000 claims during like the first 2 weeks of a launch when it was very slow, and in last week we went on under radar and get new wave of claimers, and it's still accelerating as long as we can see.
I mean, definitely the address thing is a good incentive for people who received some tokens to spread the word. I heard a guy before asking if you had some, marketing budgets for KOLs, because of course that stuff helps spread the word even more. Do you guys plan to do some reward distribution, like in a decentralized way with token holders voting on community members, or do you have like an internal marketing team budget for KOLs and that stuff, just out of curiosity?
all, if you will read this document about location of CyberGift, CyberProfit, can I ask you to show Sergey repository on CyberGift? Not Cybernomics, but CyberGift repository in Sergey Nedashkovsky repository. Yes, no, it's a contract, Max. Yeah, but basically, one part of this gift, I maybe not correctly remind, but it's around 5-7%. It was targeted especially for key opinion leaders, and we find really nice heuristics for extracting these addresses from the Ethereum blockchain. So basically, we have really strong incentive for key opinion leaders. They got, trust me, like if they will come and try to claim, they will get leaders, Max, leaders.
Well, it's definitely interesting, although it looks a bit complex for the average KOL.
Yeah, so you see, this is like the section on the key opinion leaders, and actually, if they will come, they will some probability will have really good airdrop by default, bigger than like average user. Currently, it's I bet more than 100 gigaboots, so it's pretty decent even at current prices. That is the first thing. Second thing is that we, by design, don't have and will not have any marketing teams, because our approach is to automate things as much as we can. That's why we are talking about the CyberGift distribution, which is ongoing. That's why we are talking about content rewards and learning rewards. Because we don't believe that manual work will be able to achieve this level of scale which is necessary to go to the high league of the blockchain projects. So yeah, but if you have some ideas, or if you want to manually spread this to some key opinion leaders, you can go to the Senat, describe your plan, and get some boots especially for these activities from common good pool.
That sounds cool. Thank you.
Thank you for the question. Well, for sure, once again, now I finally got to the source of the truth. This is the repository that describes everything, how the CyberGift was made, and even there's IPython notebooks and other scripts that were actually used to create this cyberlink, to query the data sets and to produce the calculations. So I encourage everybody to check this document, as it is really legendary. Nobody did the CyberGift as bostrom blockchain before. It's brilliant. It's genius. Guys, please check this document. It's very cool. Kirill, you wanted to say something?
Nope, sorry, I probably just didn't mute myself.
Got it. Thank you.
I just have a thought that, like, if OpenAI had an airdrop the way the CyberGift it would be something.
No, doesn't matter. Well, I mean, this is enough that Bostrom had this CyberGift, and I believe that it's just a matter of time for everybody, for the community, for the world to understand its substantiality, what happened, what the Big Bang appeared in this world with this CyberGift. Not yet, but we are waiting. We're just waiting. Okay. Any questions? More? Any questions? No questions. Okay, I think we can finalize our speech with the with karma. I found some bug recently. I was changing things in cyb as usual, as usually I do in cyb.ai, and now the list of the 384 neurons topped by the karma is looks like this. I think we need nicks here. Nicks, just a second. Dict neurons U. How can I do it quickly? I can say I can open file Cybergraph neurons dict YML. Yep, here it is. I can choose neuron and I can choose nickname, and I can get back to the karma, and here is the columns already chosen. Nickname doesn't need to be here, and after that I can choose those two columns, and now we can just see the updated karma here, and we can well, according to my stats, now the MC Merit is the leader. Joy is on the second place, and Master Cyb is on the third by karma. But I cannot be 100% sure that this is the correct results right now. But I think they are pretty much correct.
There is no Cyber Academy here, so it doesn't seem realistic.
Just a second. Cyber Academy. Nope. Academy. Yep. Not all the results here. So no. There's a bug now in the calculations yet. Okay, so we can finish, I think. If no more questions is here.
Maybe it's a good idea to elaborate a bit, like why do we need a karma, and why everybody like would want to increase their karma. What are the benefits behind it?
Well, I guess this parameter is currently not in the consensus. It's just a kind of a standalone thing. So we are not like super highly relying on it, and especially because there is a ways to get this gamed. So, but I heard some thoughts from the guys on how to improve it and add actually to the consensus. So then it will be much more reliable thing to show and expand and explain.
Yeah, agreed.
Interesting. We'll wait for it.
Sorry, say it again.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I will wait for it when it will be added to the consensus layer.
Okay, gotcha.
Sure, we're all looking forward to it. Okay, guys. More questions? Suggestions?
There are some suggestions that were sent to, I believe, to Artyom from Cyber Academy, but I'm not sure that was a response about it. So we will wait for it.
Artyom is here, and but as I know, he has problems with his microphone. So definitely he is listening to the call, and if there's something, if he has something to answer, he will, I think. Thank you. Okay, guys, thank you so much for another good community call, beautiful community call, brilliant community call. Looking forward to seeing you once again in the next 2 weeks, in the Thursday, in this day of the week after 2 weeks from now. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.